Alright guys, review on the zanflare, which is Gearbest's entry into the flashlight world. And for a first try, I say this is a pretty good attempt here at what they put out. So we'll take a look and go over the numbers real quick before we move a little further. And we'll just show you this. You can see it's a 4-mode flashlight, with a flare mode being the turbo, which only lasts for 30 seconds at 1200 lumens. And then the mode spacing is kind of neat because it goes from 1200 to 600, 350, and then moonlight. You know, your usual stuff as far as waterproofing and all that. It takes 18650 or 2 CR123s. And of course your power and output will change depending on what you use. Comes in a box, just like me. Yeah, I'm tired. With a little foam insert underneath is this really kind of neat neoprene case for it that holds the flashlight, and it has a little belt loop for it, so that's kind of neat. So if you do want to keep it from getting banged up like your mom, you can put it in there. You do have the lanyard, USB recharging cable, and the pocket clip, which is just okay. I really haven't used it. It's kind of thin and flimsy as far as I'm concerned, but I really don't use pocket clips for 18650 lights anyway. So interface, let's zoom on in here. This is a 2-switch flashlight with a rear switch and a side switch. Rear switch turns it on, side switch changes between the modes. There is a glass breaker built into the end here, so you can see that is kind of a neat little thing. Smooth reflector, and let me look, actually I completely didn't even prepare for this, and it is the XPL V6, which is the most up-to-date of the XPLs, which is awesome. I hate getting flashlights and having an old, you know, LED in there that's already outdated. It is nice that they went right up. You know, that's the thing, is Gearbest really kind of went all out with this. They didn't do it, you know, cut any corners. Everything's built very well. You can see it's all aluminum. Very interesting knurling pattern on it with different patterns for different parts of the flashlight. So we'll turn it on. So it has a memory mode. So there's your moonlight, and I'll throw some footage outside. You can see the beam has a hot spot with spill around it, a little ringy. So if you're a white wall hunter, someone who's looking for a perfect beam, probably not the flashlight for you. Goes up between the 4 modes, back down to moonlight, hold for strobe. Then that push again brings you to beacon, strobe, beacon, hold it again, and you're back to your regular modes. A double click brings you to flare, and that only lasts for 30 seconds and will go down, just like a flare, kind of perfect little namesake there. The beam is a cool white, no hints of yellow or green or anything ugly in it, so it is a fairly nice, decent beam. This is also, let this camera readjust for a second, also USB rechargeable, and it has a very interesting USB cover for it. It has actually this metal piece of the tube here, which you literally just unscrew a little bit, and then it slides down, and there's your USB port for charging. Very cool if you ask me, because I think it's a lot better than those rubber boots. So put that back into place. A little difficult to get back into place sometimes because you got to get those, because the threads are very fine on it, so you got to get it just right. So I think that's cool. Hides it, protects it. You don't have to worry as much about water getting in there, all that jazz. Light does tail stand perfectly, even though we are kind of on a thing here, but the bottom is flat, so it can tail stand. There is that lanyard hole as well, right here. You can see, which will affect your tail standing if you do put it in. You can see there's a little tiny bit of a cutout, so it won't completely ruin it, but it will affect it. Reflector is smooth and deep, so it does give a pretty good amount of throw to the light. Nice glass on it. So far, I mean, if you look at this, they did a lot into the details. For a first flashlight, Gearbest really did a great job. You know, they put out a flashlight with a decent output, really good run times, with a really good, and the flare mode I think is, sorry guys, it's out in the garage, and it's about 0 degrees, so I'm half frozen here. That flare mode just absolutely perfect. You know, they're calling it a flare mode, not a turbo. It doesn't give the impression that you're going to have that forever. It's a short burst of 1200 lumens. So good long run times in the lower modes. Good tough flashlight. Couple extra little features like the window breaker. You know, good USB rechargeable. Good options with batteries. It even fits the really long NCR 18650 batteries, which is cool. I fit some shorter ones as well, some unprotecteds. You know, you can use the CR123s if you so choose. It'll give you a little more output but less runtime. And decent accessories, you know. Actually, this little neoprene holder here is actually kind of decent, especially if you're throwing this in the trunk of your car or something where it might get bashed around. It's a really nice little thing that'll help protect it, and it also provides a little waterproofing to it. But overall, guys, I think Gearbest hit a bit of a home run with this. You know, it feels really good in the hand. This knurling, unusual pattern for what you're compared to. And this is not the prettiest flashlight on earth, guys. When you look at this is very drab and utilitarian, but at the same time, it's perfect for what you need. This is a great, fantastic truck light, something like that. You know, it's around $40, but it does go on sale for $30, which is a good price. When you look at the competition, many of the rechargeable 18652 blades are in that $40 price range, so it's very competitive price-wise, construction-wise, everything. You know, I've looked at this thing, and you know me, guys, I am a stickler for springs, and it's got very thick, yeah, cold's getting to me, guys, very thick, stout springs in there. They're not cheap and flimsy. It's got a retaining ring, so if you want to take it apart and fix it, you can actually do that. You want to replace parts, put a different switch in there, you can do all that. Threads are decent, you know, they're not perfect, they're a little sloppy as far as I'm concerned, but not too bad. O-ring sealed, anodized too, so you can lock the light out by just untwisting the tail cap, which is very nice as well. A lot of rookie flashlight makers don't do that, and how that works is, you know, you turn on your light and your G, so you know, you don't want this turning on in your pocket. So what you do is you just unscrew that little hair, and now the light doesn't turn on, it's locked out, and that's still nice and tight and not going to loosen up on you. You just do that little quarter turn and you're back on. So anodized threads, very good. Once again, attention to details. Gearbest took all the best things and put them into this and was able to do it at a reasonable price. And sure, you know, it's very, like I said, it's very drab, it's utilitarian, and you know, it's not the absolute best on the market, but for a throw-around truck light, not too bad. And I think they did a really good job, and I'm really excited to see what they come up with in the future. Alright, let's take a look at the mode spacing and how this light looks. That's your moonlight. Next mode up, you see, pretty bright. It's got a little bit of a ring to it, you know, hot spot, little ring around it. I'm not talking about the spill. I'm talking there's some, probably not showing up on camera, but there's some rings in the beam itself. Next mode you can see is quite a bit brighter. See, still pretty bright. You can see, you know, 30-40 yards easy, well beyond that for me. There's your next. See, it lights up the yard nicely. Back to moonlight. We're going to go to turbo. See, which is considerably brighter. Easily see a couple hundred yards of that. Good. You see some of the rings there on the edge of the beam. But a good amount of spill. And not too shabby. That only lasts for 30 seconds.